I've not read them all. I read season by season to not preempt myself, but I refer to them all the time. It's very rare as an actor that you have so much source material to feed from. I am still aware very much though that we're not doing the books, we're doing the TV series, so it has to be different. For example, my character is much younger in the books than I am. So there's things that you've got to change, but everything that happens in the show, what David and Dan have done and what I try and do as an actor is pull from George's story, which is so fantastic and brilliantly done. I would do exactly what Robb does. I think that's what is so good. I feel very close to him as a character. Yeah, there's a couple of other things I'm working on that I can't talk about, sadly. Really? But yeah, there's other bits and bobs going on.
Movies?
Maybe a movie at the end of the year. We'll work it out. But focus is season 3 of Game of Thrones, which we'll start shooting this summer. So that's what I'm looking forward to the most. Stark.
Really?
Yeah, Winterfell for sure, because they I mean, I'm not going to lie, I'd like to be in King's Landing because it's hot and sunny, but that's just me as an actor. I want to be in Winterfell, House of Stark. I think they're the most honest, genuine people, I think, with the best quality of life in terms of looking after their people and their kind of sense of family. I think that's the most important bit. You're going to see him change a lot from season 1. In season 1 he was reacting to situations, he was being pushed and people were expecting things and he was forced into situations. In season 2 you see Robb take things up himself. He's becoming his own man and making his own decisions. Season 1 he was much more of a boy who was trying to keep up with what was happening, and in season 2 you see him have this mask. He's been crowned king. His enemies need to see him as a threat. His men need to respect him as a man. So you see him pretending to be a man a lot of the time. And what's nice is that there's moments where you see that he's actually still a boy and quite naive. I didn't see him in season 2. I know he's very much involved, and he's very much involved in the writing process as far as I'm aware, but sadly I didn't get to see him in season 2. I got to see him in season 1.
How was it?
It was fantastic, it was great. I wish I got to see him a bit more. I hope he comes and does a cameo at some point, that would be great. Yeah, I think in a different way there is that. People talk to me a lot about the violence and sex in the show and how much of it there is, but it's so key to telling so many of the stories of these people. If you see someone in a bedroom and how intimate they get, or why they're in a bedroom, if they're sleeping with someone for a reason to achieve something or to deceive someone, it's so key to the storytelling. And the violence, again, it shows so much of what these characters think and how they operate when they can kill without conscience or beat people without having repercussions for it. I think that's something that tells us a lot about this world and about these people in it. There were so many. I think some of the most difficult scenes for me are also my favourite scenes, are the scenes with my mother. Me and Michelle have a lovely dialogue as actors, and she's a very close friend of mine. But I think some of those scenes, to get the subtleties between Robb, and for me as an actor, the challenge of playing someone who's a son and a boy, and then someone who's also a king and has to be a man. So for me, there's these push and pulls, which David and Dan wrote so well, and what George wrote so well. And for me, that's a real challenge as an actor to get that balance right, because even with his mum, he has to start pretending and distancing himself slightly. So it's hard as an actor because, you know, there's a lot of love for your mother, but as a man, you have to stand alone as well. If that was a real wolf on set, I don't think I'd be so cool standing beside a wolf this big. So it's a wooden stick with a big metal ball in the end that you have to kind of look back and work out if I'm stroking it right, or, you know, it's a different challenge for me as an actor, but I'm thankful it's not a real wolf on set, because that would be terrifying.